Hi there, I'm Kirk Marple, the founder of Graphlit. I'm going to show you how to get started with the Graphlit platform today. So if you go to graphlit.com, our homepage, there's a try for free button up top we can click. This brings us to what we call our Graphlit portal, and you can sign up for a new account. So here I'll click on Google and I'll put in my personal email. And what it asks you to do is create an organization. So an organization can hold multiple users. And so I'll say Kirk organization, hit create organization. And now you're into the portal. You have information about your organization. And here we can go to the members. You can invite other folks to your organization. And in projects are basically the back end for your application or agents. So that's where the data gets stored, and you can use the API against each individual project. And then under billing, this is where you would go and add your credit card if you want to move up to one of the paid plans. But we don't have to do that for getting started. We can create a new project and say demo project. And what we have here, this is basically the homepage for the project. Gives you some links to, say, try it in Streamlit. This will open up a Streamlit application that you can actually put in your API keys, which I'll show you in a second. There's GitHub link up here at top for the source code for that. You can try it in Google Colab notebooks. We have 30 or 40 different Colab notebooks that you can get started with different features. And what you really need here is your organization ID, which is it's one ID for all of the projects you have in your account, and then the environment ID. And so each project gives you two environments, what we call a preview, which will be used for your development, um, building, and then for production, which is when you want to go into production with your environment. And so we'll grab the organization ID, the environment ID, and then what is the JWT secret for signing your API key that is automatically generated by the SDKs. And we have a playground where you can upload information, say upload a file directly in and then chat with it. We'll look at that in a second. And API Explorer, which is this is a direct access to the GraphQL API. You can make queries, but typically we have SDKs for Node.js, Python, and .NET that people could use, or you could talk directly to the GraphQL API itself. Under settings, this is where you'll see both your production and preview environment information. You can delete your project here. Subscription, you start out on a free plan, so it's 100 credits of use, and credits are basically compute, storage, LLM tokens get aggregated into the credit usage. And we do have API support to query credit usage by the operation. And then you can upgrade just starting at $49 a month to a paid plan where then you start paying by usage. So it's just 10 cents per credit for usage, and it goes up. The starter price and the growth price are more expensive, but they give you a discount for the credit price, and they remove the quota on the project, so you can put in a lot more data. And then invoices here, as you use data, the number of credits will be shown here, and you'll get basically an invoice from Stripe. On the free plan, it doesn't kick out an invoice, but once you go to paid plans, you'll see the actual um, payment invoices through Stripe aggregated here. So let's get started. Let's just upload a file. So we can say demo files, PDF, and we can ask a question or just say summarize this paper for me. And so what this is going to do, this is going to upload the PDF that I selected. So this will take a couple seconds to ingest, extract all of the information. By default, it's using OCR and semantic chunking to pull out the highest quality text from the document. And then it asks the question using our RAG pipeline. And now it's summarized that. In addition to getting the summarization now, it's a continuous conversation. So we can say, explain the use of the transformer. Llama in more detail. And so all of this data is stored within the conversation. And by default, it uses GPT-4. So up here where it says select model, we only have one configured, but in the API, we have what are called LLM specifications. So you can create through the API multiple presets for Grok, Anthropic, Mistral, any model that's supported, configure the RAG pipeline, GraphRag, and all of in the detail. And once those are configured, you'd be able to drop down and test those. And the last thing is, this is the playground is only for the preview environment. So we don't want to have any worries about, I mean, doing anything with your production data. So the data that you're uploading here, the ability to then delete existing conversations or come over here and say, I mean, I want to delete that PDF that was uploaded. That is only being done, I mean, obviously just in the preview environment. So all in one, what we can do is look at logs. And this is all the stuff that happened. So we had gone in here, we'd said ingest encoded file. So here's the PDF that was uploaded. It's actually using a base 64 representation of it, uploading it to the server with the ingest encoded file mutation. It's creating a conversation. So that's essentially like the OpenAI Citizens API where you can have a threaded conversation. But this is essentially our RAG pipeline, and we're querying the conversations to update that left-hand side panel, and then prompting the conversation. And so this gives you all the information for each API call. And then we can see the storage. So we've uploaded one file. It's of document type, and you'll see this update as you import more data. And this is where it shows you all the metadata. So there's 15 pages that were of the document. So all of this metadata is automatically extracted. It took 11 and a half seconds to process it. And that's actually using Azure Document Intelligence by default to do the OCR and layout extraction. Now that you have experience with creating a project and understanding the parts of the project menu, if you need help, we have an API reference, our documentation site that you can click on from here. So this gives you all of the information for the GraphQL API, how to get started with some of the sample applications, Next.js, Python, how to install the different SDKs. So with Python, it's just a Graphlit-client pip install, and similarly for Node.js and .NET. And all the other information, the detail about all of the different features of Graphlit are down here. Access to our API changelog, so you can actually see we ship, I mean, about once a week at least. And so here's all the detail for the recent updates that we've had. And if you want to get started, I mean, really the best thing to do if you're a Python developer is, say, start with one of our Colab notebooks. So you're just having to put in secrets. You can open in Colab and then put in your secrets over here for the Graphlit organization, Graphlit environment ID. And then this will just run through pip install the client. You configure the secrets into environment variables. And this is all you need to do to start the Graphlit client. And these are just some helper functions to say, okay, ingest something from a URI, and is synchronous means that the notebook will wait for that processing to finish. Typically, it's asynchronous by default, but here we can make it synchronous. And then to get the content by ID, and here's what happens. So it's one call, ingest it, like we did in the playground, and then you can simply, with the content.markdown, just render out the markdown that was extracted. So it's as simple as that. Few lines of code. You don't need any other to integrate with any other services or platforms. We're doing it all in one in the Graphlit platform today. So that's a great way to get started. So the last thing I'll say is you can jump over to our Discord, click on support here, and that'll log you right into our Discord. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask us on the Discord. We love to hear what you're trying to build, any feature requests, any help you need, and we'll be sure to help you out. Thanks so much.